Morning, guys. Today we're working on a laser screed, Somero S240. We're going to change out the head, the auger. We got a new floor coming up. The boss man wants to put a new auger on it to make sure we get a good high number on the floor. But anyway, today I'm gonna show you how to take and change your augers out. Which ain't no real big deal. It's pretty simple. And then I'll show you how to adjust the head on it to get your auger at the right height, so you're not too high on one side and too low on the other. All right, so what I'll start with, when you go take these augers off, it's pretty simple. You have on the side of your bearings, you have two nuts here. We usually have a bunch of washers on here to take up slack. And then up top, I've got these loosened up already to try to speed up a little bit. This piece here, I guess you know, it's kind of I guess like a guide thing. It pushes concrete to your other side. Because your auger usually, you can spin it one way or the other, but this one, it pushes the concrete this way. That way, we usually start from left and screed to the right. So this right here is kind of like just a little guide. It kind of keeps your excess concrete pushed over to the next pool. And you can take these off pretty simple. They got slots. You pull that off. We usually keep a bunch of shims. I don't know if y'all do, if y'all have these or not, but if you don't, I'd advise you to get some. But let me get my hammer over here real quick. But these are they're basically just concrete shims. They got some little notches cut out. If I can get this now, it usually gets concrete built up. There we go. As you can see, they're just slotted. We got like 1/4-inch pieces, then we got 1/8 pieces. We got 3/16. Then we got 16. All right, so let me get that. So you take those off, and then we'll go down to the other side, do the same thing. Now on this side, you have your motor, which is what turns your auger, which that's pretty simple. So on this, you have, on the back side, you got a pin that locks that in and holds it. You just pull that pin out, pull your washers off. The way we normally do, in the past, we've had problems with the auger here coming off, making your gear come out of the end of your auger. So what I do, usually to take out the slack and to keep it in place, is I just put excess washers behind it. That way it keeps your motor tight. It don't let it keep bouncing around, because if it gets too loose, it can bounce out and then your auger quit turning. So it makes it a little bit simpler. We'll pull these shims out. All right. Whenever you go to set up to do this, you'll want to make sure that your screed. Oh, let me climb up here. You want to make sure that you want to have it running when you do it, because that way, you know how whenever you turn stuff off, your hydraulics can leak down over time. So you want to start out by zeroing your control out, which you can see I got it set on all zeros. And then over here, I've got it on level where it's 0% slope. Okay, so I'm gonna start it up and let the head down, but you always want to make sure that you got everything zeroed out and you're zeroed out. I usually put a level across. Let me get one. It's already been there for twice morning, but I usually put a level across here. That way you can make sure that your head's running level. Because whenever you go to adjust your head, your auger, to make sure that it's running straight, you want to check the full length of it to make sure that you're not sloped to one side or the other. If that's the case, then you'll have to adjust the top up here to like a -16th or add a 16th or whatever it is. All right. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna start it up and I'm gonna let the head down to take those bolts out and pull the auger off. So bear with me for just a second, it's gonna get a little bit loud. Make sure I'm neutral. All right, come on. Well, you gotta make sure that this control is not in the middle and it won't start. All right. So right now, I'm gonna let my head down, way down to the floor. And I'm gonna cut it off. That way it's not so loud. Sorry about that. But let me get climbed down here. Oh. All right, now that I got it down, I'm gonna pull these bolts out of the ends and let the auger hit the floor. But I'm gonna put this up on the stand for a minute just so that I can have both hands for a second. Bear with me. I'm gonna raise my head back. That way it'll drop my auger off real quick. Bear with me for just a second. All right. Sorry about that. Anyway, get this off, which is pretty simple, pretty basic. You want to. On these, you have a set screw. These always grease off. Thing about these, it's always greasy. Keep these things greased after every pour. Clean them good, and they'll last you a long time. A lot of people say, how do y'all keep y'all's burns from going out? A lot of grease. Pressure wash them out and grease them. All right, on the back side of these, they have a little keeper. I'm going to get my hammer. Bear with me for just a second. Right here's a little, it's like a gasket thing. It goes in here. Anyway, this goes up. It goes on. This goes in between it. What it does, it's supposed to keep grease out of the bearing. Which these little holes here, they got springs in them. These don't, because these are old ones. But supposed to have little springs. Them springs goes against your auger, and it keeps it, like spring loaded. Keeps your, that way to keep that plastic piece up against. It's supposed to keep your bearings clean, but maybe they help. But you can see there how they get the light right, how they go. Let me knock this bearing off. This bearing's actually still pretty good shape. A good shape gonna be in by the time I get it beat off there, huh? Alright, so now, what we got going on here, get all your grease off. It's always a mess. That's a washer. And then here, it's got concrete behind it. Let me grab a screwdriver. It's a little cool this morning, ain't it? We had a couple of rain, a little bit of rain the last couple of days. You pop this piece off. All right. See, there's a pin here. All right, see how these are? They have springs on them. The springs, actually, it just keeps it spring loaded against your bearing. Supposed to keep the grease out. Or not the grease out, but the concrete. And you can see how this one's got some concrete around it. We'll get that cleaned up in a minute. All right. So basically, you take that and put it back on here. And that makes it, keeps it spring loaded. All right, I'll have to wash that off here in a second. Let me go do the other side. Oh, that's grease, man. Gotta love some grease working on these things, that's for sure. All right. Oh, there goes my auger. All right. I may end up having to make a part 2 to this video because I have to clean all this stuff up and finish getting everything apart. But once all right, let me get all this cleaned up, and then I'll get everything set back, ready to put back on. And then we'll put it on, and I'll show you how to adjust your head. But that shows you how to get it apart, and it shows you pretty much what you have to do. The bearings, usually the bearings don't go well. Depends on if you keep them greased. Sometimes they go bad, and sometimes they don't. You just have to keep an eye on them. All right, so I'm gonna stop this, and if you'll catch me on a part 2, I'll pick up from there, and I'll get all this stuff cleaned up and get it put back on, and then we'll try to get everything else done. Appreciate it.